The banana split switches, formerly known as machos, were released by the Key Company on September 29th of 2020 and were quickly regarded as one of the most popular linears manufactured by JWK, with a super bright and colorful appearance and light but consistent factory lube application, which was unheard of back in 2020. If you're wondering if these switches are just another JWK linear, they aren't, and we're gonna get into why. These switches are pretty hard to get and are usually sold in in-stock drops that sell out within seconds of going live. I wasn't lucky enough to be able to get some during the drop back in June and had to pre-order them instead, which brings us to today. I purchased 100 switches and they come in this container which has a sticker that has bright art of the switches on it. These switches are 65 cents a switch and are sold in packs of 25. They come in bags that separate each pack of switches. This is more premium packaging than a Ziploc bag of switches that you typically get when ordering switches, and I'm honestly a big fan of it. There's also a sticker that has TKC's logo on it. These brightly colored switches have a nylon and polycarbonate blended top and bottom housing in pink and purple respectively, with a bright yellow stem and palm. These switches come in a 5-pin configuration with a 62-gram gold-plated spring, and since they're manufactured by JWK and they haven't stated the actuation force, I'm going to assume that they are like my Alpaca V2s and have an actuation force of around 50 to 55 grams. The banana splits don't have a cutout for SMD RGB, so if that's important to you, you might need to look elsewhere. They don't have a lot of stem wobble, so I don't think that filming these are necessary. These switches come factory lube, with TKC stating that they added a very light amount of lube in order to make the switches smoother stock. But if you want to lube the switches, you can just lube over the factory coating instead of having to wipe off the lube and reapplying your own. I really like this aspect of these switches, because if you don't want to lube these and just use them, they'll still be really smooth. But if you want to lube them further, then I like that TKC added a minuscule amount of lube on. Overall, I think that TKC made the right call with these switches for both beginners and more experienced enthusiasts. Here's how the banana switches sound stock and lubed, and there will be a full sound test at the end of the video. These switches are very smooth stock and have just a hint of scratch. There is some audible spring noise and the bottom out is a little harsh, but lubing these switches gets rid of both and also deepens the overall clacky sound signature of the banana splits, which I prefer. The difference between stock and lubed banana splits are pretty apparent in terms of sound, but not so much in feel, just like the Alpacas. After using these switches for a while, I can't really tell the difference between the splits and the Alpacas, apart from the fact that the splits are ever so slightly deeper than the Alpacas, which I assume is because of the proprietary molding that C3 uses for the splits, and I personally prefer the sound of the banana splits over the Alpacas. Overall, these switches perform really well, and I'm a big fan of these. I'll leave a link to these switches in the description. At the time of this video being released, they are currently out of stock on TKC's website. I recommend waiting for the next pre-order or drop for these switches instead of paying aftermarket prices over on Mech Market. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It supports me and helps me explain to my friends and family why my bank account is constantly in the negatives. And thank you guys for 500 subscribers. I really appreciate the recent support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.